Congratulations on your win at the primary, the NDC primary. Did you gather that you'd win by such a margin?
Actually, yes. One, it has to do with the fact that we campaigned very well. My campaign team was on the ground. We were moving across all the areas in the constituency. And we also had a very good message.
Right.
We campaigned largely on issues, on the continuity of the projects and policies that our late MP started. He was one of the most loved MPs in the constituency because of the works that he did and because of the others that he started. So our message was twofold. One, to continue with his legacy projects and make sure we complete them. And then two, we also implement what we have as a candidate. So largely, I think the message was well received by the delegates. And also because of the emotional attachment that they had with the MP.
Right.
Yeah, anybody who, and also because the MP had a lot of promises he has made to develop the constituency. So campaigning largely on the continuity was a good start that attracted them, but also because of the message that we had. I think they were very happy with the message. And then it was all crowned by the will of God. We always put God first in whatever we were doing.
Right. So that, I mean, that was your first time? First time running in a
yes.
any political party's
This
primary.
This is my first time, I understand.
And you still came out with such margins of win, right? And there was no surprise there at all?
Our projection was actually within between 800 to 900.
Right.
And conservative estimate were even saying 1,000. But I think we still fell within the margin that we had anticipated. It was largely our motivation and assurance was driven largely by the level of interaction that we had with the delegates. We had met them a couple of times. We have moved from the ward level to the branches at the constituency level. And sometimes the way they receive you, even though I know people say we shouldn't trust delegates, but the sincerity with which they responded to our message, the kind of comments they give after the message, and the kind of questions that they ask you actually shows that they were really happy and really pleased and believe that our team had the capacity to be able to deliver what we're promising on. And I always say that every political candidate has a vision, but it's not every political candidate that has the capacity, the resources, and the ability to deploy that vision to a meaningful projects, policies, and programs that can enhance the welfare and the well-being of the people. And that's one thing. But there's also another, convincing the electorates and actually having their buy-in into your capacity to do that. Yeah. So what we did largely as part of the campaign was to demonstrate that what we're saying, we actually committed to doing them. So there were a lot of projects that the former MP started that we continued, even as we were campaigning. So
I see.
We did.
We'll get into some of those projects, and what your own plan for the constituency is. But let's take with the beginning, of this entire journey for you. What made you decide that Tamale Central is the place to go? You had an appointment as executive secretary. We've also known you for academia. Then out of the blue, there you are, NDC Parliamentary Primary. What was the motivation?
The first was the fact that I was born and raised in that constituency, in Salamba, and I have lived with the challenges of the people. So I understand what I went through growing up, going to school, and what our parents went through, raising us, paying fees, and getting us enrolled and going to the highest level. And whenever I go to that constituency, I still see that there's vestiges of some of these things that we went through. So there have been that level of commitment to enhance the welfare and the well-being of the citizenry, largely from the constituency. And I have been doing that even in my own right as a lecturer. I have made a lot of contributions just to make sure that we make change. So the first was driven by largely the motivation to make change at where you grew up, where you started your whole life. The second was largely the relationship that existed between me and then the former member of parliament, the late member of parliament. He did his PhD at the Department of Political Science.
Right.
And I was part of the supervisory committee, myself, Professor Ransford Jampo, and Professor Emmanuel Deborah, who supervises. Actually, Professor Achwai was the lead supervisor until Professor Achwai finished his post-retirement contract and said he was tired and he wanted to take a rest. So we reconstituted the committee, and I was part of the committee. So I was very close to him, and he would often discuss some of the proposals and vision that he has for the constituency. And sometimes he always referred to me as his junior brother, and that's true. So sometimes he will ask me for advice or my perspective about some of the policies and visions that he was trying to bring to the constituency. As small as it was, when I tell him, he will listen, and you see that he was making a lot of strides, trying to help the people within Tamale Central constituency. So being privy to some of these vision and often helping him shape them up, I was motivated that this is such great ideas that we should let it just go to waste. So the second motivation was largely to make sure that those visions were continued without being truncated. But lastly, it was just about the beauty of serving your people. You know, if you ask every politician, they said the best part of politics is serving your people. And one of the best ways you can do it is to decentralize your contribution by going to the grassroots level and by listening to their challenges, trying as much as possible to address them as you can. And then those that you're unable to address, you be sincere with them, and then they will understand. So I think these were the three large motivations that made me to go and contest.
I mean, so I gleaned that it wasn't a difficult decision for you to make at all.
It wasn't that easy, to be honest with you.
I see.
Going to contest an election within the shortest possible time is something every reasonable person will hesitate a bit. So I think I had to do a lot of thinking through, though within a very limited time, and to do a lot of consultations within that very limited time. And I think largely they all said, "Oh, I think you are made for it. Once you are able to win, we think you can do better."
I mean, did you get a call to be part of the race? Were you called upon?
Yes.
Okay.
People met me, and then sold that idea to me. That when this happened, they've done a lot of search and done a lot of consultations, and then my name kept coming up. So they had to speak to me. So I said, okay, give me some time to think over it, which I did. And I thought I had made the best decision, and I still don't regret it.
Yeah.
And I believe this is the beginning of more things to come in my quest to serve my constituency, my people, and then the state at large, Ghana as a country. Yeah.